Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have 13 hearings covering a minor guardianship with a family that has 3 children, and both parents have serious addiction issues. Dad has also been in and out of jail recently, so he's willing to sign over guardianship, but Mom has some issues with it. Later on, 7 months into the guardianship, Mom decides she wants her youngest child back right now and snatches the child from the guardian's home in defiance of court orders and enrolls him in a new school. What does the judge think about all this? Let's find out.
Next up, the guardianship of Colton McCoy, Mackenzie McCoy, and Braden McCoy. And I think I saw Kendra Yasanovich here.
Yeah, I'm here, and I see Mom is here too, Tesla.
Okay.
And I think Mallory's here. Yeah, there she is.
The question, I guess, was, is the mother still in jail?
No, she's here. She's in rehab right now. Tesla, I think you're unmuted if you want to say hi.
Hi, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have 31 days sober today.
All right, let me just go to my file here. All right, and Ms. Smith, you're on this case. Have you had a chance to talk to the mother in this case?
I have not, Your Honor. I did send a letter to the last known address and attempted to make contact through a couple of social media profiles. I haven't had contact with Mom yet. Ms. Jozanovich did indicate that she may be in rehab and unavailable. Tesla, if I could give you my phone number, it'd be great if we could have communication. Just to, Your Honor, just to give you a quick synopsis. And I have spoken with Ms. Jozanovich. It was indicated that father had signed the consent for the guardianship. I don't see that it's been filed with the court yet. I have spoken with the petitioner and plan to meet with the children shortly and then have a supplemental or have the initial court visitor report to you. I don't know if the court would like to get perspective from the mother to see if she's in agreement with the guardianship. That would determine whether I should be discharged as a court visitor and maybe transition to a guardian ad litem role.
Sure. Ms. Ivy, what's your position on the guardianship?
Well, I'm doing whatever I can to, get my children back. I'm a single mom. I've been in addiction my whole life. I'm working on getting the help, and I'm serious about my recovery. I was just needing help with funding, and maybe CPS can help us get a home, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Like I said, I have 31 days today, and I graduate treatment on the 17th of May. My kids matter to me, and I'm not my addiction. So that's where I'm at with that.
Okay. Ms. Smith, sounds like Ms. Ivy may agree to at least the temporary or the emergency guardianship, but I think part of your court visitor duties would be to check with her and determine if she understands that and would agree to it.
I'm not willing to sign any paperwork. Those are my children.
All right.
Your Honor, I think the major problem here that Tesla's having is she's thinking she's signing the right to her children away. And I've tried to explain it to her. I think her mom's tried to explain it to her too. So maybe she needs a little bit more education on what this actually means, because I think she's really fearful that she's signing away her rights to her children forever. And that's not necessarily the case. Right now, they're doing really well. They're thriving. They're doing sports. They're just doing so amazing. I completely 100% applaud her for getting sober and the 31 days. That's so amazing. But this road to recovery and the road that she's going to continue down for a while, it shouldn't be a path that children go down with her. And I just think that right now they're really good here. So maybe a little bit more education on where or what her legalities are down the road if she agrees to the emergency or whatever we need to do. I would hate to see them get pulled away from an environment that they're thriving in right now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask that Ms. Smith meet with Ms. Ivy and explain those things to her.
Okay.
And we'll need to set another review date. And if the father is consenting, then he'll need to file a consent form.
Yeah, he did sign, and I do have that paperwork. I apologize. I had some medical issue come up, a tooth problem, and I just started a new job. So I'm going to actually head to the court as soon as we get off this and get that filed for you guys today.
Miss Ivy, do you have a pen and paper handy?
Yes, I do.
Let me give you my phone number, and whenever you can give me a call, we can talk about what this kind of looks like. My phone number is
Okay. And what's your name?
Mallory.
Lori? Okay. I had called the court before and they hadn't given me a name of an attorney or anything, so that's why I hadn't reached out to you.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm thinking of setting the next review date for May 18th. Will that work with everybody?
That's
Yeah.
good for me.
Can I ask that it be set for the 25th along with the Lavender Casey Thomas case?
We can do that. Okay, we will set the next date then, Thursday, May 25th at 10:30. That will be on Zoom just like today, okay?
Wonderful.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're on McCoy right now. We have Ms. Yasanovich, and I did see a consent filed by Mr. McCoy. Do we have service on the mother, Tesla Ivy? Miss Ivy is here, I see. Okay.
Yeah, she's here. And so, yes, she was given the paperwork. We were able to deliver the paperwork to her at her rehab, I think within the first 30 days of her sobriety.
Okay. Miss Ivy, what's your position on the petition for guardianship?
I'm not going to sign the paperwork, but I'm on the 23rd on a list for a 4-bedroom apartment, and I'm enrolled in outpatient and did my assessment for mental health. So however long that takes, I'm willing to let the kids stay there, but I'm not going to sign any paperwork.
All right.
And I'm in a stable spot right now, so. And I got to see my kids the other day, and yeah, that was awesome. So I look forward to seeing them this Sunday too. And yeah, I'm just doing what I need to do. So
Your
that
Honor,
I can heal, and then yeah. And my
Yes.
kids are totally okay with that. So
Ms. Yasanovich?
Yeah, so she did come in for a visit, and it was a good visit, don't get me wrong. You know, I've always liked Tesla, and I'm again super proud of her for having this much sobriety, but I think maybe she's operating under the assumption that sobriety is going to heal everything, and that it's just everything's gonna be back to normal, hunky-dory. And the children, I can't speak for Braden, we don't talk to Braden about this a lot because it's obviously he's 5, but Colton and Mickey, Mackenzie, have vocalized even over breakfast this morning that they do not want to leave. They are not ready. And when apparently Tesla had said something to them about her getting her a place, and it scared them because they don't want to leave. They're not ready. They want to stay here. And I just really feel that it's going to be detrimental to them to be pulled away. Sobriety isn't a fix. It's certainly a good start, but the kids have been hurt by the continued use. And I know Tesla knows that, and I know she loves her kids, but I just think they need time to heal. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to get them into counseling. I'm working my butt off right now to make money so I can get them private counseling because the state really doesn't pay. I'm not getting anything from the state except for food stamps for them. So I really want to plead with the court to really take into consideration the fact of what these kids have gone through and what they're telling me at 13 and almost 12 years old, what they need and what they want.
Okay. Ms. Ivy,
yes, Your Honor.
when do you plan to move into housing?
when, however long it takes. I'm honestly not rushing things right now. I'm just not signing the paperwork. 2 weeks before I went into rehab, my oldest told me that he did want to live with me again. So I don't know, and when I went to visit them, they just want me sober and clean and doing the work. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to rush nothing. And I also plan on doing family counseling with them and taking a parenting class. So that's also my goals.
Let me hear from Ms. Smith. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Smith.
Good morning, Your Honor. Admittedly, that I have not had a chance to speak with the kids yet. My caseload has just been pretty intense lately. Most of everything that's been shared is accurate. The last time I spoke with Miss Ivy was May 1st, and that was when she was still inpatient. Majority of the things that she's already provided you are the same things that she provided me, with exception for, I believe that Miss Ivy at that time had intended on participating in the Mountain Ministries, and maybe that's changed. It sounds like that's changed since then.
Yes.
In reviewing some of the data that I was able, I show that Miss Ivy actually has a pending criminal matter that hasn't been resolved, and that may impact Miss Ivy's ability to remain involved with the kiddos. So that's something on my radar to monitor moving forward. I plan to meet with the kids shortly. I'll actually reach out to Ms. Jovanovich this week to schedule that time. It's been a little bit of a struggle with my schedule, but to provide the report with complete information. Father's largely been uninvolved. He's disengaged, although he has participated in visits along the way intermittently.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, and I do have a consent from him.
Yeah, and I do want to make that known too, just for the record, that actually David has been very hands-on. He shows up. He's been doing a lot of visitation. He's really been actually very pleasant to deal with, and the visits go really well with him. So I'm super proud of him. Just wanted to put that out there.
Me too.
All right.
So,
What we have is a petition for what we call a full guardianship, which means a guardianship until the children are 18 years old. That's been filed by Ms. Yasanovich. There's a opposition to that by Ms. Ivy. And in that case, then we need to have what is called an evidentiary hearing. That would probably last a half hour to 45 minutes. And so I think what I want to do at this time is schedule that hearing. And I'm looking at either end of June or beginning of July. We could do it June 29th or July 6th. I don't know if there's a preference for any of the parties.
Can we do it the 29th? As Tesla obviously knows, Mickey's birthday is on the 5th, and we were planning to have a family gathering and have everybody over. So it would it would just be weird to have it right next to our birthday, if you don't mind.
And Ms. Ivy, will that work for you?
yes.
Okay. All
And
right.
Your Honor, my biggest concern with, just continuing to put it off, and I understand why Tesla doesn't want to sign off, and I understand, I do. I'm a mom, I've got 3 daughters of my own. My main concern right now is it's been very difficult for me to get any aid from the state because I don't have guardianship. Also, getting the kids to the doctor, and also Braden needs to be enrolled in school. And I don't want to be the third party in that. It's been very difficult to deal with the schools back and forth. Also daycare. If I were able to get guardianship, then at least the state would pay for some of his daycare, because I am working full time, and it's been a real struggle. So I'm not trying to be, unfair or, not work with either one of the parents. It is a struggle.
Okay.
And I did, just so you're aware, I did look into doing the emergency guardianship as you had instructed before. Unfortunately, because I'm not a family member, the clerk advised me that it would be another $240 for me to file again. And to be honest with you, Your Honor, I just don't have that kind of money. The kids are growing, they need clothes, they need shoes. There are all 3 of them doing sports now, and it's just financially not feasible for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like the children to stay with Ms. Yasanovich, and it sounds like there's some cooperation on allowing Ms. Ivy to be able to see them. So I want that to continue also.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have always made that perfectly clear to her that she is more than welcome.
All right. And we'll come back on June 29th then for a hearing.
Okay.
And I want to give both of you a statute number. You could get this on Google if you want, but for Washington, it's called RCW 11130.185.
Okay.
So that lays out the criteria by which I would appoint a full guardian for the children.
Okay.
And if both of you want to look at that, and then so at least you know what the law is that I'll be dealing with as we go forward.
Okay. And so just to clarify for the hearing, that statute that you gave, will that also sort of let each of us know what we're supposed to present, or is that something that Mallory will go over with us? How does that work?
I think if you look at the statute, you'll see what the requirements are.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that will just help you look at what you'd want to present to me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What was the name of the website I get it on?
It's 11.130.
I got that part, but
Oh.
is that all I type in? Like what web address?
If you went to Google
Mhm.
and typed in RCW and then
Okay.
that site, it will bring it up for you.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
And then just one more question, Your Honor.
Sure.
What time on the 29th? Same 10:30 again, or?
Number 4 on the docket, 23-4-00084-08, guardianship of Colton McCoy, Mackenzie McCoy, and Braden McCoy. Do I have anyone here on that matter?
Your Honor, Mallory Smith, court visitor, is here, and I believe Miss Tesla Ivy, the mother, is here. It looks like father may be here also. I did speak with Miss Ivy and the petitioner, Miss Jozanovich, earlier this morning. Miss Jozanovich is having some.
Hold on, I don't know what I'm hearing, but I need the back noise to stop. Okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Smith, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. I spoke with Miss Jozanovich and Miss Ivy this morning. I did indicate that this matter likely needed to be continued. Ms. Jozanovich also indicated that she's having some pretty significant medical issues, and that she would need to be going back to the doctor today, and that she was not prepared to proceed with an evidentiary hearing that was scheduled. I don't see Ms. Jozanovich on the Zoom right now.
Okay. All right, so Mr. McCoy, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So really procedurally, what needs to happen with this is it needs to be placed on a trial assignment docket and given a time slot, not just on a docket such as this. And so we would not be proceeding forward today, no matter what. With that, the Ms. Yusanovich, I believe, is the one, or whomever needs to get it on the trial assignment docket to get that scheduled, and notice needs to be given to the other parties. So we will not be going forward today. I'm not setting any future dates at this time. I'll defer to the parties to get it on a trial assignment docket and get an evidentiary hearing set. Okay.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. That's it for today.
Guardianship of McCoy. Got anybody on that?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Kendra Yasanovich. I've got Colton and Mackenzie McCoy with me as well.
All right.
Nikki? United Front, remember, they can see us.
And we have their mother.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So ma'am, I
there's
believe
also
this is
the-
on your request at this point. Anything you wish to say?
Just what I put in the paperwork, Your Honor.
Mrs. Yusanovich, where are you on this?
We are adamant that Well, Mickey and Mackenzie and Colton are both right here with me. They have written declarations stating they do not want to go back with their mother. We were at a point where the last time we saw Commissioner Nelson, we were going to continue with the evidentiary hearing. However, on October 8th, Tesla came into my home and took Braden. I was not able to get on the phone. We kind of live out in the country, so I wasn't able to contact 911, which is a whole nother issue. But once the sheriff did arrive, he said that because Commissioner Nelson did not put in writing on the minutes that I had that the children should stay in my custody until I filed the evidentiary hearing, to continue it, that there was nothing they could do to uphold it. So that it basically they couldn't go get Braden back. However, I am requesting that we continue with the evidentiary hearing. Again, Mackenzie and Colton are here. They have written declarations, and I can get those filed. I can get the notice for the evidentiary hearing filed today if you'd like. But the kids would like their brother returned back immediately. He was going to school here in elementary, and then I got a call on Monday or Tuesday saying that she was trying to put him in elementary. So they had questions about that. I don't know if Braden went to school yesterday or not, but upheaving him from his home, and these kids have been here since last December.
Okay. Hang on, ma'am. Hang on.
Yeah.
Ms. Smith, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Mallory Smith.
Mal.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Have you been able to do any work in this case?
Your Honor, I have met, and I apologize, I have limited bandwidth right now. I have been able to meet with the children in this case and with Ms. Yozanovich. I've had conversations with Miss Ivy as well. Father's been pretty avoidant of this matter in totality. It would be my recommendation to the court to consider Ms. Yozanovich's preference right now. The children have expressed a desire to remain in Ms. Yozanovich's care. It's been a consistent and stable home. I'm proud of Miss Ivy for pursuing and maintaining sobriety. She indicates having 6 months clean and attending meetings and participating in those things. The children unfortunately have a long history of just living in influx while in Miss Ivy's care. So their concerns are valid. They do want to remain connected to their mother, but they are just in a place right now where they do appreciate and are feeling much more stable and able to participate in schooling and extracurriculars and those types of things while in the care of Ms. Yozanovich.
Miss Ivy, what do you want to tell me?
Your Honor, I do have my son in school.
Where?
Elementary, and he's doing very well. I've got him potty trained because he wasn't potty trained. He is happy with me. He does want to live with me.
That's funny.
Okay. I don't want any schools changed. So whatever school he was in last week is the school he's going to be in going forward. Understood?
Then
Yes.
that elementary, that you mean the school that he was originally.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Miss Ivy, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor. He likes it.
Ma'am, do you understand what I'm saying? The child's going to be in the school he was in last week. Period. End of conversation. Do you have any question about that? Miss Ivy, do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that happens tomorrow. You understand that?
The same school he's in now, because he's doing
He
really
goes
good.
to Lincoln Elementary tomorrow. Do you understand that?
How is that when he's already got?
Do you understand what I just ordered? Yes or no?
I understand what you're saying, but he's
I
right
don't,
here.
ma'am, this is not up for discussion. This is an order. He will
I'm
be
not-
Elementary tomorrow. Do you understand that?
They told me though that because of where he lives with me, that he couldn't go to. And I think that's the only reason why I changed.
I'm going to say this one more time. If
I
the
do
child's
understand.
not at elementary tomorrow, I'm issuing a warrant for your arrest. Is that clear to you?
I said I understand what you said.
Is that clear to you?
Yes.
All right. That's number one. Number two, we need to set a hearing date on this immediately.
Agreed.
When's the trial assignment docket? We need to set this for about a 2-hour hearing.
Wednesdays, at 1 o'clock. Next week is full though, so it would be the.
Okay, I don't want it that far out. When can I? How many are on this docket next week?
There's only 2 on next week.
Okay. So we're going to set a hearing on this matter for next week at 11 o'clock. It will be the last case on this calendar. I want it to be in person here at the courthouse.
Beautiful. What day, sir?
Next Wednesday or next Thursday, pardon me, that is the 26th. It'll be the last case on this calendar. It should start no later than 11 o'clock.
Okay. And do you want Mackenzie and Colton to be present, or are the declarations going to be sufficient for
No,
you?
I don't want the kids present in person. I just want the adults.
Okay.
And Ms. Smith, are you available then?
Yes, Your Honor. And to confirm, this is for trial assignment or for evidentiary hearing?
This is going to be an evidentiary hearing on the original petition.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All
And
right.
then, Your Honor, I just have one question. So is Braden going to stay in Miss Ivy's care, or is can I pick him up from school tomorrow when she takes him?
I'm not making any change on where kids are living at the moment. We'll have to make that decision next week.
Okay, no worries. Just wanted to make sure.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
That will be all. All right. Guardianship of McCoy. And have we got anybody on the Zoom for that? Check and make sure one way or the other. It would appear not. So who all have we got here?
Mallory Smith, what was her? Mrs. Solovich. Miss Ivy.
All right. If you'll come up and have a seat.
Your Honor, Amy Powers for the state of Washington. We haven't entered a notice of appearance, but the guardian just started receiving TANF with the kids, so that's why I'm present.
All right. Thank you. Have a seat. All right. And Ms. Smith, I think I want to start with you. If you'll step up here, please. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth in this proceeding?
I do.
And would you state your name, please?
Mallory Smith.
How long ago were you appointed in this case?
I believe I was appointed in April of 23.
All right. What is going on?
Your Honor, this matter came to the court on a petition from Ms. Jozanovich. The children have known Ms. Jozanovich since approximately July of 2022, but was voluntarily placed in her care in around approximately December of 2022. Both mother and father have a history of substance abuse challenges. Father has a significant history of domestic violence. And I would like for the court to understand that father has been present at some hearings, but has never participated or filed any responsive paperwork. I've reached out to father a couple times and had no response from him.
Okay.
At this juncture, we're at a place where mother has participated in inpatient care, and I believe it's my understanding that she's participating in therapeutic courts to resolve some other matters and to pursue and maintain sobriety. In my conversations with the children, it was shared a prior history of observing substance abuse by mother and father and being involved in very high conflict situations as a result of the substance abuse and that the lifestyle that produces. The children have come to rely on Ms. Yosanovich for the stability and consistency that they've been receiving. I've done a home visit. The children all have their own beds. It's clean, void of any safety concerns. They're engaged in schooling appropriately. They've been able to connect and maintain peer relationships. They do desire to continue to maintain a relationship with mother. However, they have a strong feeling that there just needs to be a significant amount of time where mom can maintain sobriety before they would entertain or desire to entertain overnights or extended time with mom. But they do value being able to see mom with regularity. The children are doing well. They're enrolled in elementary. By all reports, they are doing as they should be. And
what has happened in the last couple of weeks?
So from my understanding, the last hearing that we had, it was scheduled, or it was indicated that we needed to schedule this for trial assignment, and no additional filings had been provided by any of the parties. So with that, it was assumed that maybe this matter had no longer had validity, or that there was authority that maybe didn't exist. It's my understanding that mother had came in and taken the youngest child and had him in her care, and with the intent of getting the other two children in her care as well. I don't have any data other than the criminal history searches and those types of things to indicate that anything significant has changed for mother to warrant her gaining care and custody of the children is appropriate at this time.
All right. You have any questions you wish to ask of this witness?
No, I don't think so. No.
Do you have any questions you wish to ask?
I do not, but I do have a piece of paper for you, and I wanted to apologize for how I acted towards you.
That's a good place to start. You should know a heck of a lot better.
Yes, I should. So sorry about
All
that.
right, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Your
Okay.
Honor, if I may, I did file a motion in order to appoint counsel depending on the outcome of this hearing. I think I spoke with Ms. Winkles during the last hearing. She had reached out to me and said, hey, my books are closed, but I'm happy to take this one on because of the complexity. So I did file that. If you don't have that in your records, I'm more than happy to provide that after the hearing for entry. But I just wanted to make the court aware of that.
Thank you.
Okay,
And have you had any contact with the youngest
I have not.
recently? Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my brain around all this. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Ms. Yosanovich, if you'll step up, please. You'll raise your right hand. Right hand.
Oh, sorry.
You swear to tell the truth in this proceeding.
I do.
You seated and state your name, please.
Kendra Yosanovich.
Okay, so tell me about what's been going on since the 8th, or what happened on the 8th and since.
So on the 8th, Miss Ivy came in through my open garage door, tapped on the door, proceeded to come in, demanded that Braden gather his things, and she was taking him. She said that she had spoken with persons of authority that said that she is the legal guardian. She gave me a Post-it note with the sheriff's number. I called that. Of course, this was a Sunday. I tried dialing that, just was getting voicemail. So I attempted to call 911, but because we kind of live out in the country, unfortunately wasn't able to get anybody to respond well after 30 minutes of her leaving. She
And
left.
Braden's home?
Braden is now 6. His birthday just passed on the 15th.
All right.
I honestly, I was a little shocked and just really taken by the whole thing. She proceeded to tell me while she was in my home, that she had spoken with David McCoy, who's their father, who has signed the consent. He signed it back, I think, in May 29th, I believe, who I have maintained contact with. However, at the time he was in jail, he is trying to clean up his record, and he has been actively, he does show up for his visits, basically.
How often?
He comes about twice a month. Doesn't necessarily, not on the dates that I had put in the paperwork originally, but we work it out. She had told me that she had been in contact with David and that David agreed with this. That was not truth. That was not the truth. I spoke with David the day after when he got out of jail, and that was not the case. He did not know. And then he was actually served with paperwork while he was in jail. She
And
also
what's going on since the 8th?
Since the 8th, she pulled him from, as you recall, last Thursday, you told her to bring him back to. Now, I do understand it was not her fault that he's not enrolled. That's because did deny the request because she doesn't live in that district. So she did, by all accounts, make attempts to get him enrolled as per your order, but they denied the request. So at this point, I'll concede to the fact that he probably should stay at Columbia Heights for the rest of the year. I don't want to yank him back and forth. If he is granted, to come home today, I would transport him to and from Columbia Heights Elementary.
And do you know anything about her living situation at all?
I do not. I have been unable to obtain her address. She's given in her paperwork her grandmother's address, which was unservable. Her grandmother does not want to be served there. She does not want paperwork brought to her home. So Miss Ivy was served via email for this hearing.
And has there been any contact between Braden and his siblings?
No, they Mackenzie reached out to Miss Ivy on Braden's birthday, and her response was a picture of her and Braden together. But no, we have not had any contact, and the children are extraordinarily upset about it. Mackenzie cries most days.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Step down.
Thank you.
All right. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth in this proceeding?
Yes, I do.
Sit down. State your name.
My name is Tessa Ivy.
What do you want to tell me?
Well, they do talk over Snapchat, Mackenzie and Braden. He hasn't talked with Colton at all, but we make sure and tell them that they love them and stuff.
How long have you been in drug court?
A couple months, Your Honor.
How much clean time have you got?
I will have 7 months on the 27th.
Was 7 months clean? What on earth made you think that what you just pulled was in your children's best interest?
Your Honor, they do need their mother around. A lot of the visits that we were trying to work out would get canceled, and I
need you to answer my question. You walked into the house without notice, jerked one kid and left 2 kids there. I want you to explain to me why you think that was a good adult sober thing to do.
So, Your Honor, I didn't just jerk him. I had asked prior and told her prior, because I was trying to get into the Phoenix house at the time, but I'm in a sober Oxford house, women, children, Oxford house. And Braden did say he wanted to be with me. So,
okay, he's sick, so he doesn't make that choice. I'm asking you the same question. What made you think that walking in and grabbing one of your children and leaving 2 was a good, intelligent, sober decision?
I had talked to several people, and I would love my kids back in my life. The other two weren't
Whenever you get
present.
around to answering my question, you let me know.
I'm working on being, the best mom I could be. And I really want my children back in my life.
You get the impression that I'm not impressed with how you're going about it.
Yes. I'm doing the best I can.
Which Oxford are you in?
I'm in the Dragonfly House.
How long you been there?
Since June.
What else do you want to tell me?
He would like to spend the weekend with Kendra and the kids.
I can't hear you.
He would like to spend the weekend with Kendra and the kids. Like, I'm not trying to keep anyone from him or anything like that. I've been really cooperative, and I'm not trying to like yank the kids away from each other. I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just.
What do you call what you just did?
Sticking up for myself, Your Honor, and my kids.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me?
I am in the process of starting a parenting class with Youth and Family Link. I'm just trying to take my life back and get on the right track, Your Honor, and my children are very important to me.
All right, go have a seat.
If you want this.
What is it?
It is the letter from my
Whom?
him. Emily.
Okay, no, that, it sounds like you did what I told you to, so I'm okay with that. Okay. So, ma'am, I'm really at kind of a loss. Okay. Thank God you are in drug court. You have all my appreciation and support for doing that. It's tough what you're trying to accomplish. A lot of people don't make it. I always am very, very impressed and proud of the ones who do. So don't let anything interfere with that. Don't let anything interfere with reestablishing your relations with your children. That includes your own stupid decisions. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't want your children bounced back and forth.
Me neither, Your Honor.
And unfortunately, the way you went about this was about the worst way you possibly could. You didn't walk in and punch somebody. I'll give you credit for that. But beyond that, do you understand the trauma that you caused to all three of your kids?
Believe me, Your Honor, yes, I do.
Okay.
But I'm also trying to make amends, and
No, don't give me a but. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. You understand that what you did, it was traumatic for all three of your kids.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. From your standpoint, is there anything that the petitioner's doing that you think is underhanded, inappropriate? Does she have your kid's best interest at heart?
I appreciate the time that she's had and was able to take care of them when I was acting out and being irresponsible. Yes, but there's also things that I don't approve of that she does.
Okay.
I'm sober and clean and stuff, and I met her just shortly before my addiction, and I met her and we drink together and everything else. She has pot plants there. She drinks around my children.
Okay,
She takes
so you
pills.
placed the kids with her in December, is that right?
My mom did, yeah.
Okay.
And I do appreciate the time, when I wasn't okay.
Ms. Farr, I'm looking for help here. On the one hand, You know, obviously the way she went about grabbing one child was completely inappropriate, didn't show any appreciation for the damage she's doing to her kids. And the next question is what's causing more damage, if I leave things as they are, or if we have the kid up sticks again.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I would maintain that having all three children under the same house would be in the best interest of the children. Those children are very bonded to each other for a plethora of reasons. I think that Mr. Zanovich has done an exceptional job of respecting the parent-child relationship and protecting the children across the board. I think that you would find that Mr. Zanovich would be more than happy to appeal and to abide by any order or ruling that you made to maintain and protect the parent-child relationship and support the children moving forward in a healthy and safe manner. I believe that all three children had good quality relationships in their school and their education. They had good interactions. Mr. Zanovich has made it available for fathers to maintain a relationship with the children despite his continuing substance abuse. He shows up when he's doing okay. The kids have good interactions with that. They're still safe. He agrees with those things. Education, mental health, all of those things will be supported in Mr. Zanovich's care. And I believe that Ms. Ivy will have the potential for a continuing and hopefully improving relationship with the children moving forward.
Ma'am, prior to October 8th, what kind of visitation schedule did you have?
So we were going on what I had originally requested, which is, so Miss Ivy was every other, I think it was Saturday, the first and the third, I think it was, I don't have it in front of me. And then Dad was the opposite on Sundays. I did at one point ask her, once they started football and cross country this year, Mackenzie and Colton, if she could switch days from Saturdays to Sundays, just because sometimes they have practices and meets.
So let me ask another question. Based on what I'm seeing from the kids, will they visit with their mother at this point?
They don't want to go to her home. I've welcomed both parents into my home. And it was, stipulated supervised visitation. I don't hover over them. They have free reign to my house. They can go outside. I mean, I've got 2 acres, so do whatever they want, just not leave with the kids. And
knowing the Oxford House situation, it would probably be an excellent place for contact. Do you think the kids would go along with what they're told?
I think that they would. Mackenzie right now is very angry with her mom for taking Brayden. And, keep in mind, Mackenzie has sort of raised Brayden when mom wasn't around and when dad wasn't around. So there's definitely a bond between those two that's unbreakable. So she's very angry. But I think that if I talk to her and make her realize that, these are steps toward repairing the relationship, I think she would be open to it.
Okay. What's the Oxford House rules about visitation with your kids?
They could stay for 2 weeks.
Ma'am, you're very soft-spoken and I'm old and I have bad hearing.
Sorry. They could stay for up to 2 weeks or live with me, Your Honor. I had talked to my older 2 before about staying the night on the weekends, and they were up to that. They were okay with that.
Okay.
They just didn't want to, my older 2 didn't want to jump right back into me, and I understand that. So I'm not trying to push or nothing like that.
Okay. I tried to be very hard on you at the start of this and make you understand how unhappy I am. You understand why?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I know I messed up.
Now, having said that, you've got what appears to be a phenomenal resource here to help you. I know you've got a phenomenal resource in the Oxford House. I've yet to see an Oxford house that didn't impress the heck out of me. The goal ultimately is that you've got all three of your kids back living with you in a, I won't say a normal life, but in a good, loving life that you want, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And it doesn't happen overnight. All the same, I don't want to call them slogans because that sounds like I'm demeaning, but all those same things that you're getting taught in treatment and through the drug court program apply very much so to your situation with your kids. Okay. So what I am going to do and what I want to do is try and set this up so that you and your kids have the best chance of establishing that relationship and establishing it as soon as possible. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So now, having said all that, understand, I hope that what I'm doing is, number one, in your kids' best interest. And your interests are completely secondary to that.
Yes.
Number two, I hope what I'm doing is in your best interest as well. And I think it is. So what I'm going to order is that Ms. Jovanovic has guardianship over all three kids, including Braden. The kids stay with her. Okay. We need to set up a pretty liberal visitation plan to include some overnights at the Oxford house. And again, explain to the kids what that situation is. It's the best possible place for her and to improve that relationship.
Okay.
But I'm not going to order overnights immediately because I don't want to put the older kids in a position where they're uncomfortable or even worse, resentful.
I understand.
And you've got a little repair work to do with them over the situation with Braden. I understand your desire to fix everything now. But we've got to do it in a manner that's going to be,
Healthy.
In everybody's best interest. How regular is their father at visiting?
Well, he was just in jail for 45 days. So, I can't say that it's regular, Your Honor. It's hit or miss sometimes with him.
I guess what I'll say is that given his situation, his contact with children is completely secondary to her contact with children.
Okay.
You understand?
Got it. Yep, absolutely.
Ms. Farr, can I put the bulk of the burden on you to not monitor the visitation, but to make sure that the kids it's going well for them and that there's no reason to backpedal? Okay, now let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Do you want to take the burden of expanding this as things go well or not if they don't go well? Okay, that puts a lot on you. And if you don't do what's asked, maybe there's going to be some conflict.
I'm 100% committed to these kids and to seeing Tesla maintain her sobriety and a healthy relationship with these kids. I do 100% support that.
Okay, so I've got two options. Option A is I can set up some kind of a schedule now. I'm not there, so I don't know what's, and whatever I set up now, if I do my best, is probably not.
Oh, that's so tiny. I don't even know what you're trying to do.
Good. I hate silver. All right. So it's not going to be, I'll be doing it with a very blunt instrument and not able to see how the kids are doing and make those changes on a weekly basis. So if I leave it to the two of you with Ms. Farr available as the arbiter, if there are problems, Are you comfortable with that?
Yes, Your Honor, it's just she's canceled a lot on the visits that I have, so I would appreciate somebody else being there to help. Yeah.
Well,
One time, Your Honor, I've canceled.
okay, hang on.
There's a free co-parenting app that we can set up. It's called App Close. I'm able to be added to the group and be able to monitor and interject. If we could use that as the means of communication, then we're all saying the same thing in the same place. And any of that can be used if we print out, if you needed to use it for the judge's review along the way. It doesn't cost any money for any of us to participate in it. I'm happy to follow up with an email to you guys for the app and kind of set some ground rules in that regard.
Okay, and if everything goes sideways, you can get it back in front of me in pretty short order, but I kind of suspect it's not going to. The people in the Oxford are very helpful. This is obviously something you want to talk with your counselors about, both in terms of how you're feeling about it and how to proceed. And, you know, if you want to go tell them I'm an idiot, you hate me, that's great. Just, make sure that you're telling them where you're at.
I have weekly counseling appointments and all that, and I'm very open about like what I've done and where I'm at today. So
Yeah, and it may be
I understand.
It may be that you want some, professional third parties involved with your contact with the two older kids. Everybody's going to have to keep an eye on them and see how they're reacting to it.
My mom would like more visitation with the kids also. So like, I don't know, I'd like my mom to be a part of that too. If she
Okay.
to be.
I am a grandparent, so I understand how much grandparents want to see their grandkids. And I know it's important. It's secondary to you reestablishing your relationship. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm really kind of kicking the can down the road from my standpoint. And I think that's the best thing to do. Do a better job than me. Everybody be quiet unless I'm calling your case, please. But it sounds like that's going to be the best way for this to work. Talk to Ms. Farr before you leave. Sign up for the app. Everybody knows how to get back in court if we need to. Have a long talk with Braden. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much. And we're going to see a lot more of each other. But you're going to go stay with your siblings for now. And then go ahead and cry your eyes out tonight and move on tomorrow. Understood? Okay. Any questions?
Only about when Braden, I couldn't hear you, when Braden will come back.
Let's do it over the weekend. Have him go to school tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. I'm committed to that. Or should we move him back?
Well, I'm not sure what the school will let you do.
The school is going to want, if he's living with me, the school is going to want him to. However, if you feel and everybody wants him to stay, I will do the drive. It'll be inconvenient, but I'll do the drive to keep him at. We don't live in that district.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the thing with.
Yeah. Again, I'm kind of in the position where I think it's smartest for me to leave that to you guys. If he's doing really well, I don't want to interfere with that.
Right.
If that was a problem, maybe we need to reconsider, or, if this is going to, if the school says change over the Christmas break, or I don't know. But as much as I feel like I'm kind of shirking my responsibility today, it will be better if you guys can make those decisions and if I do.
He is doing really well.
Make sure she's on, and Ms. Farr, make sure both are on the list of people who can talk to the school.
Ms. Farr, you said?
Yeah.
I thought it was Miss Smith. Sorry.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but yeah, make sure everybody's on the list.
Okay.
And same, make sure that their mother can contact the school, find out everything.
The two older ones are actually at home.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
And okay.
All right. So any questions?
What day would you like me to take Braden there?
I think probably Friday after school when all the kids are around might be a real good time for everybody
Okay.
to say, hey,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. And I assume the older ones will be looking kindly on you when you bring Braden back. So that might make it work better.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Keep up the good work, please. Just
Thank you.
sudden decisions are often not the best ones, right?
Correct.
Are you gonna send the full order then? We don't have one that was presented.
Well, I have an idea for that. So we need the full guardianship order presented. Okay, I'm going to put this on for next week to do two things. One, so you need to prepare that order, submit it to the clerk's office so I can sign it. Two, if there are any problems at all, I want an update. Three, if everything's going great, I'd appreciate an update, but I don't need to have one.
I do believe there's an order on file already ready for you to sign from back in the original motion when Commissioner Nelson was presiding over it.
I checked before I got in here today and I didn't see it.
It should be dated for April, sometime last April.
I'm not.
I do have a copy of it. Yeah, if I could grab it, it's in my briefcase.
Okay. Well, I want it next week because I want to.
Next week, so just
Yeah.
have it ready next
I
week.
want to
Okay.
make sure everything goes well. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. Very much appreciated.
I'm sorry, what day next week?
The next 10:30, same time.
What day?
That
Thursday?
is the second, I believe. Yeah.
November 2nd at 10.
Thursday, the second, 10:30.
In person again?
Or on Zoom.
Well, I'll have to be in person because I have to. bring-
Normally Zoom. But if you're here, I'd love to hear from you.
Could I by chance get that wrote down?
I'm sorry.
Could I by chance get that wrote down?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'll send follow-up emails after the second minute hearing date. Send all that for you. So you have it.
Okay, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So I will be up Friday at 5:00. Okay.
And stop by the drug court office, tell them what's going down. Tell them I told them to put you down for a gold star.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck.
Morning, Your Honor. Kendra Yaslanovich here. I think I see Tesla too.
Miss Ivy, I got word to Judge Evans in the drug court to make sure you got a serious attaboy. And of course, Judge Evans wasn't available on Tuesday, so sorry about that. All right, where do we stand?
Your Honor, Kendra here. I have the flu, so I'm in bed, which is
I'm
why you
sorry.
can't see me. I know that all we have to do is get you to sign off on the paperwork, which I have not brought to the court yet. I'm just wondering if we could get an extension to next week so I can get myself healthy and show up in person.
All right. Miss Ivy, any objection to that? Miss Ivy, do you object to that? Okay. And other than that, everything is going much better now.
Yeah, we've come to an agreement with we're using the app Close app.
Okay.
And she and I have come to an agreement for starting the visitation. So the boys actually will start their visitation tomorrow.
Oh, terrific.
And then Mackenzie will start not next weekend, but the weekend after that.
All right, great. I'm very glad to hear it.
Yeah. So
Okay, over to the 9th then
Yes,
at
please.
10:30 for presentation of that paperwork.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Guardianship McCoy.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mallory Smith, court visitor.
Amy Powers for the state of Washington.
I see that Mother Miss Tesla Ivy is available also. I received a text message from the guardian, Miss Kendra Yasanovich. Miss Yasanovich indicated that she currently has COVID. She's been trying to log in, but is having technical difficulties as well. She's not able to bring the court paperwork in for presentation. I would defer to the court whether you would prefer that we set this over a couple weeks or.
She's present now.
Miss Ivy, everything going as it should as regards to visits and that sort of thing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and no problems from your standpoint?
No.
Okay, yeah, she was under the weather last week when we had this hearing, so.
Yeah, apparently her and Braden have COVID right now.
Okay.
She just messaged me this morning.
Okay, then let's put this on for a presentation of that order November 30, since it sounds like everything's going well. And Miss Ivy, has there been any discussion about the Thanksgiving holiday?
No, there's been no discussion on that.
Okay, well, yeah, I assume there will be some. It sounds like it's not going to be a problem for you guys to sort out what will happen over that holiday based on what I'm hearing. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, then we will set this for the 30th for presentation of that order.
Okay, at 10:30.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that will be all. Guardianship of Colton McKenzie and Braden McCoy.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kendra Yasanovich here.
All right.
And Aaron Winkle is appearing on behalf of the child McCoy, although I have not been in contact with the child at all. We have never received any information or been able to contact the child. So I am here, but just so the court is aware.
Okay.
And Casey Looney as well on behalf of the state for child support, Your Honor.
And I see Miss Ivy.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mallory Smith, court visitor present. I also believe Ms. Yasanovich is present. She is in the Superior Court public iPad, but I don't believe her sound is working.
Oh, can you guys not hear me?
I certainly can.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let me start with Miss Smith. How's things going?
Your Honor, I have reached out to both parties to request access to the app close, and I haven't been able to connect with them. It appeared at the last hearing that they were communicating through the app close. They were scheduling visitations and working somewhat collaboratively to make sure that visitations were occurring. I still remain confident that Ms. Yasanovich will continue to facilitate visitations between mother and children to the best of her abilities. But that is what I have as far as an update.
All right. Miss Ivy, I see your name there. I saw your picture just a moment ago, but you're still muted.
Yes, I'm here, Your Honor.
There we go. So from your standpoint, how's it going?
It's going good. She said that I could possibly get all three of the kids for the weekend tomorrow. So I look forward to that.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. I am obviously thrilled with where this case is versus where it was a while ago. Miss Ivy, congratulations on the work that you're doing, Miss Yovanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you are doing. And Miss Ivy, I hope you recognize that she is your friend in this and not your enemy, and it all goes accordingly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, I do apologize. I just got the paperwork sent over to your clerk for you to sign off on. So that should be hitting your desk shortly here. I had some technical issues. And then when I came on Tuesday, they told me that I had the wrong paperwork filled out. So I had to start all over. So that's, again, should be hitting your desk. I'm at the courthouse now because I thought I was supposed to see you in person. So if you need me to wait, that's fine. I'm here. My day is free.
So ma'am, have Miss Ivy and the guardian ad litem seen the proposed papers?
No, it just went through right now, so.
Okay. Okay, so it sounds like everything is going well. We just need to get the paperwork taken care of. To do that, do you have a copy of this that you just submitted?
I don't. They took everything so they could get it to me,
Okay.
but I can, like I said, I'm here, so I can go back and pay for a copy.
I'm going to give it back to the clerk.
Okay.
All right. And we're just going to kick this over 1 week. Get a copy to Miss Ivy, I assume this weekend when she's got the kids.
Yep.
Get a copy to Miss Smith right away, just so they can review it, make sure that everything reads the way they want it to also. And
Okay.
hopefully we'll get it signed and sealed next Thursday, which would be the 7th at 10:30.
Sounds
Understood?
wonderful. Understood. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
You said next Wednesday?
Next Thursday,
Oh, next Thursday on the 7th. Okay. At
10:30.
10:30. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
We can start the minor guardianship calendar. Let's start with the McCoy matter. I see Miss Winkles. I see Miss Ivy. Miss Powers.
I'm here, Your Honor.
And we're on for presentation of an order. I don't see Miss Yusanovich.
And Your Honor, I have been unable to get a hold of my clients at all. We've tried the guardian's number. It appears to have changed. We tried contacting the formerly discharged guardian ad litem to maybe get a hold of them. I'm hoping today somebody can give me the child's number so I can just meet with the child in the office and see what she wants.
Miss Ivy.
I've been texting Kendra. She still has that same number.
It's not working from our office.
And however, I haven't got to see my daughter in 2 months. And she was trying to have the visit at her house. So I don't know if there's anything that we could do about that to have it to where my daughter can come too. Because I haven't got to see her.
Okay, Miss.
And she said
showed up. Give me a moment here.
Okay.
All right, Miss Yusanovich, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so sorry.
Okay, so I don't have the proposed order yet that you were supposed to.
I brought it in yesterday morning. They said that they would get it to you.
Yeah, it hasn't shown up yet. And Ms. Winkles is also having real trouble getting a hold of the kids. So can you tell us what your, can you give Ms. Winkles a good phone number to reach you?
Yeah, it's the one that's on the paperwork. So it's a 41.
Oh, sorry. We called it this morning as well and yesterday, and it's saying that it's disconnected. So maybe there's something wrong with the one on the paperwork. So go ahead and give it to me and we'll try it again.
It's
okay. And is there a possibility I could meet with all 3 children in my office sometime next week, just before these orders get signed, just to kind of see?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a call and we can set that up.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and Miss Ivy, you had said there was some concern about visitation with the kids.
I haven't been able to see my daughter in 2 months, and I really want her to be able to come over to my house also. Kendra had said that she didn't want to, and she wanted to have her visit over at her house. But I would really like to, have all 3 of my kids, because I thought that's what the deal was. And I only ended up getting Braden because I guess Colton was sick, but I want to work it out to where I can have all 3, like you said, at the Oxford.
Okay, well, let me suggest this. Miss Winkles is going to talk to Miss Yusanovich. Probably had a couple calls. I don't know this. You might also call Miss Smith. I don't see her on this today. And was that our order on the McCoy? Okay.
Yeah, I think she was discharged.
So hang on, let me look here.
Yeah, and Your Honor, I am working with Mackenzie on getting her to see her mom. I do have a counseling session with her set up for January 18th because she is dealing with this pretty hard as far as just not wanting to see Tesla, which I talk to her all the time. She was on board with going this last weekend and then last minute pulled out. Colton was sick. So he just didn't want to be sick there. He wanted to just be sick in his own bed. But I'm working with Mackenzie all the time. We talk daily about it.
Okay, well, I've got the proposed order, but I don't think anybody else has seen it.
I did serve everybody, so I do. I didn't know that I was supposed to serve Miss Winkle, so I apologize for that.
Okay.
We have a copy from Odyssey.
Okay, so we're going to hang on to this order. I'm going to put this on next week. Once you talk to Miss Winkles, Miss Ivy talks to Miss Winkles, that we'll have that all sorted out. And in the meantime, make sure that Miss Winkles and Miss Ivy both have a chance to take a look at that proposed order. Get it all.
Honor, I would also request to look at the proposed order. I just need to know what the parties are planning to do in terms of child support. The state's position is to keep the administrative orders in place that are currently there.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. All right. So unfortunately, I think we'll bump this over one more time. So next Thursday, the 14th, just to get that order entered and also to review and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
And that works. And if, I was just going to state, if we want to work through the parenting plan to do a phased in approach for Mackenzie, Kendra, if you want to give me a call to talk to me about that, we can probably make something so it's firm and kind of has some flexibility if you want to call my office.
Okay. What's your number, Erin?
It's 360-578-1392.
92. Okay. And then as far as the child support goes, do I need to get that paperwork over to the woman who was just speaking? I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
That's Ms. Powers in the prosecutor's office, child support division.
Okay, Miss Powers. Okay. I'll get that everything over to them, to Miss Winkles and Miss Powers then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then I think we're good till next Thursday and hopefully we'll get it signed then.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guardianship of McCoy.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kendra Yasanovich here.
And Erin Winkles on behalf of the children.
And Casey Looney on behalf of the state of Washington.
So first question.
Hi, Your Honor.
And the mother, Tesla, is here as well.
Yeah, I see her name. So how are the visits going from everybody's seeing?
I missed last week. We had communication problems with our cell phones, but I still haven't got to see my daughter yet. But this next weekend I should still, or the next coming up weekend, I should be getting the boys at least.
You'll be getting what?
The boys, boys. But I don't know what's going on with my daughter, so.
And Your Honor, I'm not sure, and I did ask Tesla as well. We submitted a proposed parenting plan, final orders, because you already had the evidentiary hearings. The children did weigh in on that. The daughter wants to see her mother, not at this point, but I believe Tesla's right on the road to recovery. She just wants to see another hair follicle. She wants a little bit more time to go past. But I haven't heard back from Tesla. I want to make sure she has that final order that we submitted.
I haven't talked to you at all, and I never got that. No.
Okay. All right. We attempted to have it served at Oxford House. I can email it to you. We also did email it, but we might have the wrong email. I can give that to the guardian and she can maybe email it to you as long as she has the correct email for you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to make a new email because this one's full, because Kendra said she tried to email it to me too, so.
Okay.
I have to make a new email.
Ms. Winkle,
Yes.
Suggestion, maybe you can send it to the drug court office.
That I can do.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, and Ms. Yasanovich, how's everything going from your standpoint?
Good. I mean, everything is good. Last weekend, like Tessa said, there was some miscommunication. I got a new cell phone and apparently she didn't get my messages. And then she did tell me that her email was full. So there was no communication. I do need Tesla to get on the App Close app. I've sent the request a few times to her and she's not getting it. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But in order for us to communicate so there's no problem, the App Close app seems to be a good way to go. But we need to be both connected and I'm already on it. So if she could get connected, that would be awesome.
All right. If,
Okay. I am connected. I'll have to look on there.
I can send you another request as well.
if you'll send that email to drug court as well, make sure everybody's in communication.
And also, I UA more than once a week for drug court, and I believe I did sign an ROI for that, so everyone can see that.
Okay, yeah, and again, check with drug court and make sure they've got that information so they can provide.
And just one more thing, Your Honor, the youngest child does want an additional night with his mother, and I've talked to the guardian about this. I provided the youngest child with a cell phone. It's the oldest cell phone known to man. It's kind of, if you remember the 1990s, it does nothing but make a phone call. It's a block, and so he will need to keep that with him when he has the additional overnights, as long as Tesla is okay with having that additional overnight where she's at. But he would like to start that. That would be the 5-year-old.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's do this. Let's put it on in 2 weeks to sign, hopefully, the final orders. And in between time, maybe until Miss Ivy's got her electronics sorted, we can use drug court as kind of a middleman. Miss Ivy, I will not be doing this calendar in 2 weeks.
Okay.
We'll set it for January 4th. I just want to tell you, well done. Things are a lot better.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll have 9 months on the 27th.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Have a good day, Your Honor. Have a good Christmas.
Number 1 on the docket, 23-484-08, minor guardianship of Colton McCoy, Mackenzie McCoy, and Braden McCoy. Who do I have present on that matter?
Erin Helen Winkles on behalf of the children, attorney on behalf of the children.
And Kendra Yasanovich, I'm here.
I'm here also.
You need to identify yourself by name.
I'm Tesla, the mom.
Amy Powers for the state of Washington.
And Your Honor, we're here on signing final orders. I've only been involved in this case for about probably about a month. I did redraft the final orders and send them around to all the parties.
And so where does that stand at this point? Are they ready for final signature, or?
I have not heard any objection from anyone. Tesla is the only one that I haven't heard from. It appears everybody else is in agreement to sign them. I believe Ms. Powers has reviewed them as well. I'm not sure if she has an interest other than the child support.
I have reviewed the final child support orders and worksheets. They look appropriate to me, and I am fine if the court signs off on them.
All right, so Miss Ivy, have you had a chance to review the paperwork?
Yes, I looked at the paperwork.
Okay, and are you in agreement with them?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm okay with what my kids want.
Okay, so Miss Winkles sounds like she's okay with them. So I don't know if you want to go ahead and relate any information to her as to what you would like her to do.
Yes, I'm not sure if she can just give her oral approval for the court to sign those orders.
Okay.
I represent the children. My clients would obviously prefer the orders to be signed, and I believe the guardian is here as well, and she's already given her indication that she wants them signed.
Okay. All right, so Miss Ivy, I can put on the final papers approved via Zoom today. Is that acceptable to you?
So like I am okay with the paperwork and stuff, but do I need to sign?
It just gives me, all I do is I write in for your signature approved via Zoom, which is what we're on, and put today's date. And that way there's a record that you approved the documents.
Because I'm not trying to sign over my rights or anything. I'm trying to get them
Right.
back.
It's not a signing over of your rights.
Okay.
You're not terminating your rights or anything like that.
Okay.
That's not what we do here. Okay.
All right. Because if that was the case, no.
Well, I just want to sure, my understanding is you're okay with the paperwork that was sent to you, and that's all I would be putting on is on that paperwork that you approved. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have some papers? Ms. Winkles, did you submit those for signature?
Yes, we did. We can send them around again. The holidays, we kind of a few things are floating about the courtroom, so we can go ahead and submit them again to Your Honor. I can have my courier bring them down.
Yeah, that would be great because I don't have them. So that would be great. Okay. All right. So can you just put approved via Zoom by Miss Ivy, and that way that's on there, and then I can just sign them. All right.
And you can also put approved via Zoom for me as well.
All right, will do.
Thanks.
All right. All right. Is there anything else on that matter?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Nope. All right. That takes care of that matter for today.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Looking at the McCoy and Yosanovich and Ivy matters. It's 23-484-08. We have parties here on that one.
Kendra Yosanovich is here, Your Honor. Can you hear me okay?
I can, thank you.
Thank you.
I believe I saw Miss Ivy present. Very good. So where are we at on this case? I see Miss Powers was involved, but I think that was when she was still involved with the state of Washington.
Yeah, Miss Ivy is wanting to terminate my guardianship. I've read what she wrote in her packet that she submitted to you. I am a little astounded on the things that she's claiming. I'm not sure. I've spoken with the two older children more at length, obviously, than the younger one, Brayden. And they would like the court to once again appoint them an attorney. They have their own ideas of where they would like to live and what they would like to do. They don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and they felt that when they were with Aaron Winkles that they were able to speak more freely without hurting mom's feelings. And I'm wondering if the court can do that for them today.
Well, this is put on at this point. This is a request to terminate.
Right.
Let me just look here real quickly. Like those documents were served. So at this point, I don't know if you're not in agreement with that, you should probably file a response to the request.
Okay.
These are a bit unusual. These types of cases used to be a third party custody. So the process where we're dealing with one where there's a request to essentially to modify, which or terminate. So I don't know if you're in agreement with that. That's one thing. If you're not in agreement with it, then we'd need to have some sort of response filed.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not in agreement with it. I spoke to the children, and they just absolutely don't want to make this move at this time. They don't feel that they want to live with their mother. They also don't want to hurt her feelings, and they haven't even been doing their visitation. The two older children have not been doing their visitation with Miss Ivy. However, Brayden, the little guy, was until the end of July, but Tesla has not asked me or done anything per the court order that's on hand right now as far as visitation with Brayden. So I think it's a little strange that
That's
she's saying she wants to have full custody when she's not even seeing them on their normal, their
That's
first and
because
weekend.
you don't let me when I stand up for myself. And CPS is involved. This was not ever supposed to be a permanent thing. I got my stuff together and my kids do want to live with me. They've told me and the CPS worker that they do want to move in with me. And I'll be getting my apartment sometime this week. And I do want to terminate the minor guardianship because, like I said, it was never supposed to be a permanent thing. When my kids were placed with her, I didn't really know her too well. And they're honestly, they just don't want to live with Kendra anymore. So this is why I'm doing the termination. And I've fought really hard to get my kids back. I am their mom and I want to continue being their mom.
Okay, well, like I said, these are a bit, the process in this, you filed a summons, which, and a petition to modify.
Yeah, Aubrey Williams is the CPS worker that's involved in this situation. I don't know if you could see her notes or whatever, but I would absolutely read those.
Yeah, Your Honor, I'm actually filing a complaint with the child CPS department for Aubrey. She was blatantly had some nepotism going on with Tesla. I'm not sure where that comes from, but my neighbors are also going to join in on that complaint as well. And we're going to follow that through against Aubrey.
Okay, well, this is a summons and a petition, and again, the process on these is a little bit odd because they're but ma'am, if you're opposed to this, you need to get what I think I'm going to do on this at this juncture is I'm going to set this over 1 week. If you want to file some sort of response, then we'll consider that, and I'll look at all the other options as far as appointing counsel if necessary. But at this point,
do I need to request that in my response, Your Honor, for the attorney or a guardian ad litem or something? Is that something I need to actually physically submit paperwork to you for?
no, you just need to file a response to the petition that's been filed.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure
Your
if I really
position, because at this juncture, I don't have a record here as to what the issues exactly are. I see that she's filed a motion to modify, and there's a number of declarations in support of that, and I hadn't seen any kind of response to that, so that's what we're here about today.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to do at this point. I apologize.
Okay.
I can definitely get a response and get it served to her ASAP.
Okay. So what I'm going to do on this one, based on the process issues, I'm going to set it over 1 week. If there's no response filed, we'll proceed. If there is a response filed, then we'll deal with that accordingly.
Okay.
So I'll put it on for the 22nd at 10 o'clock in the morning. If it appears we're going to need a lengthy hearing, then we'll probably at that point set it on for a trial setting. But at this point, I'll review it on the 22nd. And again, if you file anything after about probably by tomorrow or the next day, you should send an extra copy, a bench copy for the courts, because sometimes it takes a little time for paperwork to get through the
Right. I do recall that from last time. Perfect. Okay. Thanks for reminding me about that. Yeah, I'll get it done tomorrow morning then.
Yeah, and anything that you do file, Miss Ivy needs to have a copy of.
Yes, absolutely. I will have her served.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. Do I see Miss Smith?
Your Honor, Kendra Yasanovich is here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't see the guardian ad litem, so we'll come back to this.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I was actually wondering if we could get in a continuance. I have COVID right now, and I'm just not feeling well. I have not been able to file the response because I'm still under quarantine after a week of being on quarantine.
Let's
So I
come
was
back to
wondering
it.
if,
Let's come back to it in a bit,
Okay.
if the guardian ad litem's here.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Guardianship of Angel Alejo.
So what's going on?
We'll come back to it in a minute, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Okay, back to the McCoy guardianship.
Hi, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I just wanted to state that if the children had been in CPS, I would have had a chance to get them back and I would have them back by now. I did just get into my apartment yesterday.
Ma'am, hang on. Melanie Smith. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is reappoint Ms. Smith as court visitor.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
We're going to need to be out about 30 days.
What?
To give her time to do her investigation.
Okay. Investigate. Do it.
Miss Ivy?
Come on, keep it going.
Miss Ivy?
Hold on one second. Yes, Your Honor.
I would have thought by now, through your time in drug court, you'd have some notion of proper behavior in a courtroom. That doesn't change just because you're on Zoom. I recall this from last time. You don't do yourself any favors with your behavior over the Zoom. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yes, Your Honor. I wasn't trying to be rude.
And Ms. Yusanovich, we do need to get that
Yes.
response filed from you right away. You understand that?
I absolutely do. I have the paperwork. I just have not been able to finish it up. However, I also need an actual address. Ms. Ivy, I know she said earlier that she moved. I don't have an address to serve her paperwork, so I do need to get that from her.
All right.
Or if she wants me to send it to her email, that.
Miss Ivy, what is your address?
I don't know it off the top of my head right now. You could still send it to the same address as the other one. I'm still getting mail at the other place.
It has to be served in person. Somebody has to hand the paperwork to you.
No, you can just mail it.
I can just mail it?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. That's awesome. Okay, so I'll just do it to the one on Niblets or whatever it is, Tesla.
That's the one.
All right.
And we will set this for November the 19th at 10 o'clock.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right, that will be all.
Thank you very much.